Good evening. I looked very fat in the last video. There's a couple of quick corrections I want to make. Let me do a quick flip of the old hourglass. And my name is Dana Lynn Reeses. Today is the 5th?
Today is the 6th of April.
6th of April. The video you saw this morning is from this morning. Miss President, do you think I can get... Oh, you are the best. Now, ladies and gentlemen, what I'm going to be doing tonight is I have formally, well, not me, but Ms. Resnick has formally done something that I choose not to discuss. But I will tell you something, that this book right here, this book is would never have been written, nor would Bob Menendez ever be captured, nor would an example ever be set for every single other wannabe little junior Bob Menendez who thinks that by being elected to an official position in politics, it is a one-way ticket to a printing press from constituents who want favors from you. This is a very, 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 very horrible crime. It is far worse than the punishment that you receive because the ramifications of your actions it's impossible to account for all of the bad that he has done by pretending that he's doing good. Think about it like this. If this man's decision-making process has led him to 10 years in federal prison after multiple decades of committing fraud and escaping it, think that every single time, think about this, every single time this man mentions all the good that he has done, he is making that assumption based on his decisions and his decision evaluation process. So what you're listening to are literally stories of people who should have either not gotten what they've gotten or paid to play, and they are supporting Bob Menendez because they got to experience a politician who's willing to sell his seat. But if you notice, he only would be corrupt in a small region of New Jersey, and everywhere else he would just pretend to be this Hispanic representative. Now, a lot of people don't understand that my name is Dana Lynn Reeses. I am not a loser. I understand that a lot of you don't understand what this is. But this is a book that is written because of me. Not by me, and is not written for me. This is about a scumbag. Now, there's something called the Son of Sam law. To circumvent that, I could easily have Bob Menendez sign the books and I sign the books, and you get the only copies of the true people that are behind this. Obviously, this will be one of the hundreds of ways that good old Senator Bob Menendez will be paying me back for the rest of his life for what he has done to me, my family, and the state of New Jersey. Now, that being said, Jamie, did you like this book so far?
Oh my God, it's so great. I've learned so much.
This is absolutely incredible. There is so much in here that really speaks to the illegitimacy of the voting process in New Jersey. Because essentially what it says is there has never been a non-corrupt politician in Union City. And Union City is the home of Judge Esther Salas. And as you can read the book, you'll see that Judge Salas was actually groomed by Senator Menendez and mentored by him in the same school of thought as he was by Musto. And Musto's Cronies is a production company that I am starting because I have completed everything as far as the eye can see in the form of all of my projects. Over the course of the next, it's 4:15 p.m. Over the course of the next 5 hours or so, I will be putting up one spreadsheet at a time. Each one of these spreadsheets will require a 15-minute video. I will also film several cut segments of me splitting firewood so that I can talk privately about certain subject matters that I don't want to have Miss Resnick be a part of. So that being said, please excuse some of the confusion. But I do want to address the fact that I am being constantly ridiculed, mocked, and crimes are committed against me on a daily basis after I literally saved the country over almost, at this point it's 22 to 23 times, we're going on to 24 times. And because you cannot believe what I'm saying, you deny it. Not because it's true or not true. It is because you, in your brain, do not believe that the only reason this book was written is that I genuinely walked into Fred Davies' apartment, shook his hand. We had a deal in place. I was looking past all the horrible things he did. And then after that, he wrote a loan illegally. He did it using my buyback system, which cannot be applied to a felon who is not allowed to issue loans, and because he is convicted of a crime of moral turpitude. I have never been even accused of a crime of moral turpitude, let alone commit one. So when it comes to the reality of what happened, in my personal opinion, I think that millions of Americans owe me a huge debt of gratitude for me sticking my neck on the line and pushing this through and making sure this project is complete. And just like my personal life prevents me from actually working, I will describe to you the step-by-step process. The actual rise and work and everything that I plan on doing will be done on Instagram for the daily basis and all that stuff. But when it comes to long-form communication on the things on my mind, it is virtually impossible to do it on Instagram. Instagram is simply designed for short-form entertainment and to tell my boys what I'm doing. Nothing more, nothing less. On my son's birthday, I will actually use Instagram for what it's meant to be used for, which is social media. I understand most of you don't understand that because you have been using Instagram to guide you for legal advice, emotional advice, and furthermore, I will be adding Mel Robbins and a few other influencers who are directly responsible for creating a how-to guide to defraud your husband and start your life all over again by illegally setting him up and disguising it as a motivational speech or motivational talk and earning a profit off of this. And in short, women like Mel Robbins, men like Andrew Tate, and other influencers are actually ruining the lives of human beings who do not fit the mold of the client that they're targeting. But it doesn't matter. You see, you have to understand that a woman like Mel Robbins, she can help 100,000 people. But if she destroys the lives of 2 minors, she will never be allowed to publish anything again. And I will prove to you that her involvement and my direct or my indirect involvement as being a victim of her advice, I assure you, I will 100% prove this claim, because if I'm saying it on YouTube, I've already done it. I do not make announcements on YouTube without actually completing the tasks, and the only time I'm ever stopped is if crimes are committed and then judges cover the crimes up as part of a conspiracy. That's it. In reality, I do not need to do anything other than live my life. As a hardworking human being and someone who is doing his best to avoid publishing the video that I will publish tomorrow, if I do not see some semblance of cooperation and understanding that my children cannot be out of my life, it is illegal. There are court orders that are being issued in the background that are so flagrant that the judges that are signing them should be going to jail. Forget about being fired or removed off the bench. These are crimes being committed by the court in full daylight without zero ramifications. If you, as a citizen of Essex County, are okay with a man who has never committed a single violent act in his life being accused of committing multiple crimes and being a violent person and being robbed of millions of dollars by your own family, then seeing that your wife and her family looked at all of this and did the same exact thing, far worse, knowing that your biggest fear in life is having your children taken from you. Meaning that the set of circumstances that was created was only to hurt my children and me. And for people to do that, you cannot allow that to happen as a society and expect that you will be helped if the time comes for when you are a victim of a crime. Because what is happening here is not just illegal, it is wrong. And in life, laws change. So the concept of legal and illegal is not really the measurement and standard. So if you've ever been arrested for marijuana, please rest assured you've been arrested, same thing as a bootlegger in the 30s. Look, the reality of all of this is that 20s, 30s, whatever, the reality of all of this is that you can have a choice. You see, Mel Robbins has millions, tens of millions of followers. Me, I got a couple of people. The difference is I don't lie, I don't take a penny for what I do, and my work helps millions of human beings without hurting a single person. Whereas Mel Robbins makes millions of dollars and it hurts a lot of people. Because remember, if you choose to follow her advice and things go wrong, you cannot blame her. And the reason why I say this is because she is not a person who has evaluated the cases. And when human beings are motivational speakers and the motivation leads to horrible things being done to minors, that's called a cult. So if you're a part of the Mel Robbins cult, I will prove it. I will add her to one of my litigations as well as this one other horrible social media influencers that I assure you is nothing more than a representative of thousands of men and women that choose to, and I'm also going to add a man to the lawsuit in order to show that the manosphere and the women's rights movements are so big in the development of non-original thought that is not positive. For example, Miss Resnick has told me that during her divorce, her entire Instagram feed changed to reflect this sinister, like what does it say? Open up a bank account. And
it gives you like tips.
Can you read me the one post of the woman that I'll be suing? And you know why? Because I don't want money. I'm not interested in money. Every dollar that I make off these clowns will go into a foundation to help kids or humans that are affected.
Sorry, one second.
Not even a foundation, a fund. I don't need it to be tax-free. I am not interested in 501c3 because of the amount of people that have taken advantage of tax laws. I understand tax laws so well that it is much better to run a for-profit entity that is designed to do good and guarantee that it does it by open transparency of their books so that all of their records are available for free on the internet. Go ahead, read this. Listen carefully.
Oops.
Wait, maybe should I read it or could you read it? I'll read it.
So you read this and then you read here on the bottom. Okay.
All right. So first off, it's a very beautiful woman. Well, there it is. Very beautiful woman putting on her makeup in probably a multi-million-dollar home. If money is the reason you're staying in an unhappy marriage, here's your exit strategy. All right. So what do? Press it.
Here, give it to me.
Go to the step-by-step. Listen to this. Listen to this. I spent almost $30 million taking care of everyone I've ever met in my family over the course of a quarter of a century in cash, post-taxable dollars. Step one, open up your own bank account quietly and immediately. That's while you're married. This is a setup. Build an emergency fund. Even small amounts create leverage. This is happening to me after a lifetime of doing everything I can to love every person. They're doing this to me, and they've done it successfully. Write out a detailed monthly budget, rent, food, bills, transfer. Know your exact survival numbers. We'll see about that. Speak to a strong lawyer and get proper legal advice. The law is rarely black and white, which means that you can manipulate the law. Know what you're entitled to before you make emotional decisions. What? Rebuild your earning power. Update your CV. Call contacts. Upskill if needed. Oh, look, a business started. And money being generated and hidden from me. Who knew? Reduce unnecessary spending. Clarity requires this would give yourself a financial runway. Don't jump without structure. Where's the one that says you need to take photo and video? Listen to this.
Wait, I gotta find it.
And when you look at exactly, well, this video is almost up, but essentially, I assure you, what has happened today, are we good? Did you get the numbers?
Yeah.
You got the numbers? We're good. You guys are fucked, okay? I am extremely upset at the men who have abused Jamie Resnick. There's nothing in the manosphere that allows you to do that. If you've been following influencers that are telling you that men are better than women, you should fucking look in the mirror, you fools. If it wasn't for women, you wouldn't even have a child. My name is Daniel M. Reeses. I'll see you in a second after I do a little bit of work. Peace, son. See that all that's happened, I'm going to try to finish the thought. These are the cut segments. Sometimes you get certain pieces that are big, but when you're doing like a big fire pit, you know, I'm going to keep this as a big piece because I noticed that it's just a pain in the ass to carry in a million small ones, and I need a bunch of big pieces. So once you get to a certain size, there's certain pieces that are just good to go the way they are. And when you talk about cubic inches, centimeters, whatever you want to talk about, rather than really focusing on the anger that I face. Well, this is done? All right, cool. Well, I got to do all of these anyway, and the mulch has to go out, so the more I take care of all this little stuff. So what I was basically getting at is maybe some of you have been really confused about the general nature of how my businesses are going to function, but please remember they're really based on automation. If they're not able to be launched seamlessly, they're not able to be launched. That's one of the main reasons why I continuously delayed certain parts of it, is that for me to launch it, I need to get the real estate and my money back. I can't launch something. Obviously, I can get an investor, but then I would have to give up equity in order to expedite the process of getting it open. See, these are good the way they are. I wouldn't even break these down smaller because in the fire pit I want to play around with the length of time it takes for a small log like this to burn down, because everyone knows that once you have a super strong ember glow, what is this garbage? What is this garbage here? Very super strong ember glow. You want to make sure that you have wood that doesn't just burn up in seconds. Now everything's got to be done, but we do want to make sure that we get the pieces that actually can be done, and I don't just drag them for no reason. And the ones that I can't, well, I can't even move this one. All right, let's put this one back because someone's gonna get hurt. They're heavy motherfuckers. All right, so this right here, we're gonna start to have to go up. This thing's got so light. Always wear gloves. Always wear steel toe shoes. I made a huge mistake. Okay. All right. Think big, think small, but just think. Please use your brains. Awesome. I'll do it live. I'll do it live. Hey, so this is a continuation of today's video. Today is April 7th. 6th, right? April 7th. And then Pierce's birthday is 8th. I've got something really special planned for him. I have something that no money will ever buy. I promise you. If just given a chance for my son to be happy and not isolated from his father, please give him a chance. Please give this boy a chance for a childhood with his father. I'm telling you, me and Pierce are very similar. Drake and I are clones. If Drake, when you get older and watch this video, this is what you're gonna look like. But better, because Mom's a lot better looking than Nana Rita. And Papa, God bless him, he passed away. So, but I assure you, Grandma Sherry and Papa Mitchell are much better looking than my parents. So you guys are even gonna be better looking than Mom and I. And we're not even that good looking. We just really love you guys. And that's the most important part of this message. That behind me is a real estate portfolio. Now it's only $26 million net. The gross is $31.55 million, and the debt is $5.365 million. Now that real estate portfolio I'm going to work really hard on for the next 10 to 20 years and make sure that you boys have an amazing, amazing nest egg. I also want to make sure that mom's happy. I want to make sure that everyone is happy. This is more than enough money for me to do everything we need, and everyone can separate or be together or anything that anyone wants. But all I ask is for my boys to know that both me and their mom love them more than anything. More than anything. So this is the first tile that's going to go up. Over the course of today, I'm going to be splitting firewood as my exercise of choice. And I will do intermittently workouts. This Saturday will be my first day at Drake's, and I will be making something very special for Drake and Pierce, and as well as anyone else. It is being run as a private supper club. There will be no option for the public to come. You will need to be a member of a members only club, at which point the second location will be a much more formal restaurant with all the accoutrements that are required. My name is Daniel M. Reesless, and please understand that this entire video is just for my boys to tell them that me and their mom love them more than anything. I assure you this will be resolved. Dad always resolves everything, no matter how much everyone wants to fight. All of this is based on the notion that if we do resolve this conflict, I was right the whole time. I am willing to accept that I was wrong the whole time, just so we can resolve all the issues. There is absolutely no legal merit behind a human being who is trying to raise awareness to a very serious issue that has affected me and my family, as well as Ms. Resnick's family, as well as millions of other families in this country, and that is the complete and utter addiction to toxic social media that triggers some of the worst thoughts and decision-making processes that can ever be imaginable, because they're not actually yours. They're being made on your behalf by the individuals that are curating the content that you're watching. Always remember, ladies and gentlemen, as a great man once said, no glove, no love. Oh. I'm going to do all my log splitting here for the season, especially when I start. So we left off over here, and we weren't able to do it at all because it was just way too wet. And I'm kind of pissed. I would have opened Drake's this week, but I don't have any of my tools or anything. See, literally one day of no rain. Okay. This one, see, you have to flip it, old Missy Elliott style, and reverse it, obviously. So during these times when I have a massive amount of stress, I'm so excited for my son's birthday. I'm praying that somebody will think of him and realize that I have set up the best scenario for him to really appreciate how much I love him. And I know that there are a lot of people, in my opinion, make a big mistake about trying to buy their children's love. And I think that that's a huge issue. Now, not always with money, you know, like sometimes people try to buy their children's love through other means. And I don't know, I've had a lot of time to really think about everything. And I definitely am not the kind of person that's going to skate responsibility, but at the same time, there comes a point where people stop and think about my kids. My obsession is that I love them. I don't have this weird, sinister side that I'm being accused of. Like, a part of me almost wants to figure out what it is that people think that I am, but at the same time, I don't really give a fuck that much. And the more time that passes without me doing anything that I'm being accused of, the more that everyone can see that it not only is a lie, it's a sad lie. It's a sad lie that hurt two innocent boys that did absolutely nothing wrong. And the motivation behind it looks like it was just to hurt me. And what ended up really happening is, I believe very strongly that my children are going to be traumatized for the rest of their lives based on the sheer experience that they have to go through by being told that they can't see their father. They don't know why they can't see their father. Their father doesn't know why I can't see them. There's this arbitrary financial goal, I think, that perhaps some people have for me to buy my children, which is the complete opposite of what's going to happen. And you'll see that all that's happening. Good morning. My name is Daniel Amresis, and today is April 7th, 2026. Is that correct, Jamie?
It is.
With me today is Miss Jamie Resnick, my assistant, and as well as business partner in many elements. And a lot of that has to do with her skill and the unfortunate circumstances that I found myself in, but at the same time, by taking a look at the situation from a better position optically, please understand that it is in my best interest to share the wealth with an intelligent human being who could shepherd the herd while I'm either busy or with my kids, so that it really requires me to give a big chunk of what I own and invested in and created. So she is a very deserving human being. And I just want everyone to understand a couple of things that me speaking positive. Fun fact, I am about 20 pounds overweight, but at the same time, rather than, body shaming myself or taking my clothes off or any of that stuff, I simply want to express to everyone that the only possible way for a human being to get into better shape than they're in is hard work, which comes in the form of both exercise and diet, as well as the mental recognition that they are in a place where they don't want to be. There are many people that are significantly overweight and are very happy with their bodies. There are other people that are in incredible shape and would call themselves fat and continue to work on a body that is far more in excess of anything that their skeleton can sustain in long form, while at the same time body shaming themselves. Please understand that I am a human being who was raised in a society where my father was body shamed a lot, and my fuck it. It is what it is. I didn't have the easiest last 35 years, and I do believe that I've made the best out of it. But at the same time, please recognize that this is a channel about something called applied mathematics. Tomorrow is my son's birthday. Even by the recognition that the parents of Mariah Wilson, after you watch the documentary, are just as negligent in the complacency of what happened as much as Colin. Now, I understand that I do not blame any human beings, but personal responsibility is really the message that they're trying to send. And the real message that is subliminal or subconscious is that we as a society have gotten to a point where we do not take personal responsibility, even for the most talented and altruistic of human beings, until that person suffers a tragedy. And the tragedy, as a wake-up call, is a concept that was only around hundreds of years ago. It only became on the wayside hundreds of years ago because we didn't need to make examples out of human beings in order to teach the masses lessons. We have gone so backwards as a society that when dealing with such a sensitive subject such as the manosphere or the concept of, the female version of it, which is, and I call it all the manosphere. I'm going to explain to you why. Because I believe that if you understand anything about applied mathematics, you must understand that if you give one a word, the other one must have a word. And for me, it's much easier for it all to have one word. And as a man, I believe the manosphere is the best description because women would be the womosphere. But there's no reason to say that because it's the manosphere. And if both sides are screaming equality, then they should have the same name. Do you understand?
That's a good point.
It should all be the manosphere. The concept of having two separate names would be against what they stand for.
Yeah.
Both groups. The one thing that they would agree on is that they're better than the other group, which means that they must have the same name.
That's true.
Because only brothers or siblings can argue which one is better because they were born by the same parents and they have the same last name. Because when you're not, the conditions are too far apart to really argue about like who is better at what. Now, that being said, I'm going to need your assistance for a little bit. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, let's go ahead and I have a couple of questions I need to ask you. Please come on up. Please move this chair over. Thank you so much. Ms. Resnick, how are you?
Hello.
Please come closer into the camera. Excellent. Now, this is Ms. Resnick. My name is Dan Risas, and now, can you hold this candle up and put it right next to my face?
Like this?
You don't want to burn me.
You're pretty good.
All right, now put it down. Now, rather than arguing with Ms. Resnick for days on end about certain subject matters, I'm just able to express myself in a much more articulated type of way where I'm able to win an argument long before it has ever started. So what you might be confused about, you will see in time, which is the only way to pay me. Now, Ms. Resnick might eventually be able to understand what I'm talking about, but right now I'm going to ask you for a quick favor because I need to be speaking in front of the camera,
Okay.
and I don't know how to do it all at the same time. You're very good at your job. So, Ms. Resnick, can you just put these tiles up right here on the right side?
Mm-hmm.
Now, one thing you must understand is that I do not give legal advice. I am not board certified anything. I am a non-college graduate. There are many people on YouTube that will make a living telling you and giving you advice. I am the complete opposite. I am a human being that you could only learn from if you listen to yourself. Now, that being said, if you're a human piece of shit, I don't recommend you listening to yourself because the end result is going to be horrible. But that would require you to look in the mirror. So for example, I am not a great human being at certain things. For example, one of them is I have a very hard time empathizing with humans that have been born with a superior set of circumstances known as this lucky sperm club, and they do not take advantage of the position that they're in. Just 1 second, please. Sorry. So when it comes to recognizing that the amount of work that I put into everything I do cannot be described better than, in my opinion, I don't think that anyone works as hard as I do at what is required to complete what their goals are. Dedication, focus, commitment,
Yeah.
and the inability for people to express themselves publicly about it because of the shame and ridicule that the community gives to the ones that work their asses off really puts a new meaning to no one really can hold a candle to me except Miss Resnick. And, oh, she just got it. You see that? Takes a few seconds. But essentially, rather than arguing with her about the subject matter, I have her actually do it so that she understands that she's never able to say, no one can hold a candle to you at certain things. And I will say, that's not true, Ms. Resnick. You work really, really hard, and you are very deserving of what you have worked for because you have sacrificed so much that the reason why I'm not going to be putting up the video that I wanted to put up today is because I cannot take anything away from my son's love. My son is an amazing human being. I need to dedicate the day to him and his mother. And if I can see him, I only would see him on his terms. He knows how to reach out to me. He knows exactly where I am. He knows exactly how to communicate, and I'm here. I was going to wait in a miniature horse farm or put up a really disturbing video that would really take away from his day. And I realized that a true, honest father would really do what's best for his son and not post anything until after the hearing is over or concluded, which should be at the end of the week. So by not engaging, I am doing the smartest thing, in my opinion. You might disagree with me, you might not. Are you finished, Ms. Resnick? Excellent. Ms. Resnick, come on screen. When was the last time you saw your children, Ms. Resnick?
September 11th, 2025.
What a coincidence. Now, I haven't seen my boys since August of something, and the reason for that is because even if you think there is some nefarious element that's going on here, it is absolutely zero excuse for what has been going on. And it is incredible that you know what, we're not good looking, and we're not, we might not be YouTube stars and nobody watches the stuff down there. The numbers are low and no one gives a shit, but we're human beings, And by really not recognizing that we have given our lives to our children, we are committed, we are dedicated, and we're kind, and we don't have the option to hurt the other side.
No.
That's the reason why, is because the true parent would never engage, and we are not able to engage, you lose.
You're so true.
You lose time.
So
You don't lose the battle, you don't lose the war, there's no
time.
battle, you lose time. You lose time away from your children, from the moments. Because the people that are going against us are okay with hurting children.
Yeah.
We are not okay with that. That's it. That's all this is. I'm going to repeat it again.
Not okay.
The people that are going against us are totally okay with hurting children. We are not. That's it. We're not doing drugs. We're not doing backflips, somersaults naked. We're not wasting time. We actually work really, really hard. And we don't do anything other than being ourselves and being honest, and I speak the truth, okay? I am an honest person in a world of lies. In a world where human beings believe that there's actually some justification for kidnapping, for attempted murder, for all of these things, all because of a fabricated relationship which was supported, encouraged, and done fully in open light. There is nothing Jamie and I did. Like, I don't even understand the people who have an opinion who don't even know anything about the three of us. That's the craziest part. Again, same thing. I've already perfected the small logs and I have a large quantity of them. So what I want to do is, I just want to make sure. All right. You ever see anyone rip a yellow pages in half? I haven't. Maybe on YouTube. That's the way I feel sometimes, you know. And being that I'm not a very strong guy, this is I don't know what to tell you. That looks awesome. DHL. I didn't even know they were in business. Great company, by the way. In case anyone cares. All right. So this one is going to go in the same pile of big boys. This one's ready to go as well. My theory is that those logs, because they're not being split and because it'll take a long time to burn down, they should theoretically last about an hour. This one is a little too big in my opinion. I think we could still bring this one down a little bit. And the goal is to never strain your back carrying them, so the length of the log is super important. So these little guys are really designed to be boxed up. And we want to just do this. So essentially, in order for me to really avoid living in the past and being hyper obsessed with my inability to see my boys and the stress that I'm under, if God forbid something happens and I'm not around, who is to be responsible? And I do. I think that we're very close to resolving this issue. So part of me is really glad that I had the courage and the resilience to let the wheels of justice spin through. Another part of me can't get over the fact that well, this is all supported by law enforcement, which is paid for by taxpayer dollars and really designed to keep the public safe. And that's scary to me. It's not just about me, it's about what would happen if something, God forbid, did happen, you know? I don't want $250,000 with no children. Like, I don't need any money. Money is designed for me to use to do good for the county of Essex and to show the quantity of misuses and misappropriations that the current leadership partakes in. And it's nauseating, especially after reading the book. And we're back. Now, cut segments are really, really important because when you recognize the continuity element, oh, by the way, you can sit there.
Thanks.
The continuity element of what you're doing, you must recognize that I am all about entertainment, but I'm not interested in anything outside of legal attainment, which is essentially over until my children are back in my life. Because legally speaking, there is no ability for me to continue to work. And I say legally speaking is because I'm in the middle of what's known as a functioning mental breakdown. Until my children see the sun sets immediately and creates a shadow, that is not an accident. That is divine. I'm just kidding, guys. It's just a shadow. That's it. But the reality is that I didn't lie. Like, what does make a shadow and clouds at the end of the day? Not the physics or the science, biology, mythology, or any of the conventional wisdoms that are designed to explain something without an actual proof. But what really happens in the stars and the clouds and the sky and all the elements that, me personally, I have never been into outer space, nor do I subscribe to the flat earth theory. I am more of a believer in physics, and I believe that the world is round, even though I don't need to see it from the sky. I recognize that gravity and physics and certain things are not disputed. The elements that are disputed, I take a pause, and I am intelligent enough to have my own opinion, believe it or not. But essentially, what you're going to see right here is that I am not an accounting expert. Let's see how fat I am.
Oh, stop.
Shut up. No, I'm telling you, it's a very important part of the process, is that recognition of how unhealthy yo-yo dieting is.
I don't think you shouldn't call yourself fat. I think it's offensive. You're not fat. You maybe feel like you have a little extra
Listen, when
weight.
I go, my weight is 175 pounds. Right now I'm at 192.
Okay, so
That's heavily overweight. And when you talk about when you're 43 years old, it's extremely important for everyone to understand that you must do at least an hour of physical exercise a day
For sure.
in order to maintain your body for the most basic elements of life that may or may not come up, where you may injure yourself significantly. And the reason why I say that is because I'm based on experience, nothing more. My father-in-law is a very, very healthy man, and he has taught me a lot about maintenance. I personally don't subscribe to a lot of what he subscribes to, but essentially I believe that I am terrible at golf. He's an amazing golfer. I only started to say anything negative about golf when I had my own experiences with both playing golf and the element of the things that you have to tolerate in order to be a part of playing golf in the tri-state area, in a country club. So before I said anything negative about golf, I first played golf for a long time. Years. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Then after playing it and experiencing it, I recognized that not only is this not for me, a big element of why I don't agree with so many individuals is that my father-in-law made fun of me for many years for doing karate. Like passive aggressively, like not like ha 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 you loser, but he would call me karate boy, knife boy, you know. But he never sparred. He never talked to me about exactly what my martial arts was about, why it's so important to me, why it incorporates movies, why as a human being who didn't have male role models, I gravitated towards strong individuals that were able to be honest, which I lacked in my life because my father was both of those things. He was both very strong and very honest, but he wasn't able to function as a human being, let alone the requirement that little Daniel needed. Believe it or not, little Daniel grew up. I'm not sure who out there is a fan of reading, but and I don't know who has read Moby Dick, but I know I have never read it, and I know for a fact that this fucking thing. One day, maybe today, but I'm never giving up. I will split this motherfucker. Most likely not today, but I will not give up, and I will get it. And yeah, it requires me to lift it probably 50 times until I get it, but one day I'll get it. 7 metric tons. All right, let's see if there's something that we could just do. Let's pray for a miracle. Now, this is one of those that, and stuck. Good news for me.
but I figured out how to use it. So we're gonna go ahead and put it back to where it belongs. Let it keep drying it. Put it on its side. Let it keep drying. All right, this thing's too naughty. Not too naughty, but too naughty. It's similar to naughty, but less sexual connotation. Okay, here we go. This fucking thing. Oh, look at this guy. He's just sitting here. This is about 60 or 70 pounds. And totally not awkward weight either. Alright, well, put it in the wrong side. Don't think it should matter. It's either going to split or not split. Here we go. What do you guys think? We're close. We're close. I feel like we're close. This isn't like the other one. This isn't like the other one. This one went right in. So, mathematically speaking, if we get a full flat edge, that thing's not even coming out. Awesome. Good news for me. Look at that. No option to get off the horse. It has to be persistence. All right, well, first and foremost, let's get this done. It's done. Second, do the flip. Third, once the flip's complete. Oh, I see what the issue is. It's another naughty log. But I got something special for it this time. Definitely got in. See, that's a big pop. All we need is one solid. This teaches you patience. And it teaches you how to think. Think right. You don't think right, you're gonna work double as hard, triple as hard. Now we're cooking with gas. Here we go. And they said it couldn't be done. I think that's like the story of my life in general. Everyone says anything I do can't be done until I do it. It'd be nice if somebody says, hey, good luck, Daniel. We believe in you. No, that wouldn't fall in line with the story. People have to insult me, put me down. And that's just the way it is, I guess, you know, enough people have spent their whole lives telling me that I'm a bad person as I'm saving their life or paying them or not asking for advice but helping them. And being that, in my opinion, I am slightly superior intelligent, some people, against, I don't think it's fair for those people who don't understand me to dismiss me or insult me or give me advice, since I don't do that to people. And all I've asked is for people to treat me the same way as I treat them. No different. If I'm an asshole to you and you want to be an asshole back to me, that's fine. But there's a reason for it. And no one is, this is the United States of America, no one's forcing anyone to be in a relationship with anyone. It's mind-boggling that people could actually buy into the notion that I would be an individual that would partake in involuntary relationships. I don't even understand how that fucking works, to tell you the truth. That's one of the reasons why I had such a hard time responding to this matter, is because I didn't really think it was very serious, because there's no truth in it. But I guess people are very serious about their lives. Look at that, not or no not. Once you get the first split, this thing doesn't stand a chance. Doesn't stand a chance. And it is satisfying, you know? Like if you showed this video to someone.
And as I grew up, and as you hear in the background of me discussing certain elements via the meta glasses, you must recognize that I can stand up here and telling you some of the most incredible stories. And one of the next segments I'm going to talk about is Daniel as a child. But first, I wanted to really put out and produce a video that is it's called the Book of Daniel, and it's chapter 10,909. And numbers to me are really important. So the first movie that I'm going to make is from day or whatever, episode 10,909. So when I'm ready to start filming episode 1, you will see why. Now, episode 10,909 will be the first one that I film. I don't think anyone understands how hard it is to stand up here and not lose your mind about recognizing the reality of what you have given to the world around you for the last 30 years and how they've repaid you. I recognize that Ms. Resnick is in a very similar situation as I am, but what Ms. Resnick has given to the world is 3 beautiful children. I've given a little bit more, yet less at the same time. So to take a human being like me, who has sacrificed so many years of his life to make sure that the people around him are not only happy but alive, it creates an overwhelming sensation of self-pity. I feel sorry for myself. I gotta snap out of it. All right, see that?
You're allowed to have feelings and be human.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
All right, now here we go. No breaks. Watch this. Debit is left. Debit's left. Credit is right. Please understand that means nothing because you're watching it backwards on a TV screen. And I am not an accounting teacher, nor can I explain to you all the elements that are required in accounting because I don't understand them. The things I do know about accounting is something called tax law. I know tax law better than any human I've ever met in my entire life because I studied tax code. There are human beings who choose to study how to write code in a world where writing code is fully automated. So you can ask your old ChatGPT to pump out the code that you need and then give it, upload it to a GoDaddy server. And at which point, obviously, if it rejects it, the GoDaddy server gives you a code back of the errors in the process, at which point you put it into ChatGPT and it'll give you the right code. You see? Tax law doesn't work like that. Tax law works in interpretation of the tax law as applicability continues to become more ambiguous and more difficult. So what that basically means is that the more beneficial the tax element is created, the more the US government will try to fight the people that take advantage of it the most and try to either quasi-criminalize them and or make examples of them so that they don't have to change the law. It's not you personally. It's just the federal government needs taxes. It doesn't run on oxygen. It runs on taxes. So for me, my only gripe with this entire matter is that the issues at hand are all fueled by tax dollars. The human beings that I am most angry at receive their bi-monthly paycheck from tax-funded entities. That's what the issue is. That's where my beef is on a personal level, is that I recognize that there are human beings like Richard Trank, or who's the other douchebag? Sedano?
Yeah.
Right? I had Sedano. Those are two absolutely, happy retirement, Martha Hillenbrand from the U.S. Trustee's Office, and Judge Sherwood. It's a real shame you're going to be going in the box as one of the key witnesses, and you know what? And my name is Daniel M. Reeses. You have me confused for some fucking punk-ass bitch. This is one take, one cut. No edits, no pre-rehearsals. I go from here to here because I have to. A human being who is constantly under massive amounts of pressure will be able to lose their mind and regain it without affecting anything. That is not a skill. That is hard work. Cash owed to Daniel M. Reeses / Jamie Resnick. I paid Jamie with equity. It is not illegal. It is something that will cost me a lot of money in the long run, but I assure you it was one of the smartest things I've ever done because it also allows me to claim under tax exemption both female business owner status as well as single female parent credits, and all of these elements are incorporated in the business elements. But you need to know the tax law, and you need to have an accountant who does the accounting. See, I don't do accounting because it's a third-party liability, and if there's a mistake made, there needs to be someone that is accountable. You can't be accountable for your own accounting. It's like, I don't know how to explain it to you. It's like I made a comment off camera to Jamie. You know what? Give me a second. Watch this.
They would tell you that this is not an easy. See this knot right here? This better not happen again. I'll tell you that much. All right, let's see. This should be good to go. Knot or no knot. Yeah, it's easy after a certain point, and these I'm going to keep big. I'm going to try to do the same thing. Really mess around with. I might even WT it up and put the fire pit in the front yard. At least get a little bit of, you know, a little bit of fresh air while messing around with the length of time that it takes to. All right, so let's get one more in here. Come on. You see, this one might be a little too wet. This one's too long. I gotta get a chainsaw from my house, or just get all my things back that have been stolen from me. All right, but what fun would that be? Oh, all right. See here, I'm just gonna drop it. That was only like a 40 pounder. That was nothing. Let's see what we got here. Whoa, look at that. Ending on a low note. See, you could look at the rings. You could see that it's not dry enough to be split. So on that note, ladies and gentlemen, whew, nice little quick cardio. We got this ready. Let's go ahead and finish some more assets. Wow. What a beautiful day to be alive. Thank God my kids are healthy. And thank God that nothing bad has yet horribly happened other than our relationship has been destroyed. But I'm just going to spend my whole life working double as hard as I thought I would have to. It's not a big deal. When I signed up to be a dad, I knew that it would be come hell or high water, no matter what. I'm here. I'll never ever stop. I'll never abandon. I'll never give up. I'll never fight. I'll never hate. One of the reasons why I'm always open to communication is because unless you're planning on being mad at me or not speaking to me for the rest of your life in some way, while still making sure that the boys are happy, I'm just fast forwarding this thing 5 years from now where we can have a normal communication. But if human beings that really need to flex their legal nuts against me and find themselves in a negative position because they chose to break the law while going to the law at the same time, I don't know if I can take responsibility for absolutely everything. And my goal is really to express that I don't know how someone can think. Sorry, I'm just planning out my route for the second time I'm coming out here. How someone could possibly think that a human being who spent his entire life making sure that every person around him is taken care of, loved, and truly comfortable would ever go out of his way to hurt anyone. I think, oh here, this guy right here. This one right here is going to be my next one. So this one we'll just get right over here ready. All right, I'm going to go take a break from taking a break.
I made a comment off camera to Jamie. I said to her, I was like, look, we were watching the cycling movie, documentary, yeah. The Truth About Mariah. Mm-hmm. And it's a very interesting title because I don't know who's lying about
right.
the
you
story.
Don't know who, right.
No, meant like, I genuinely don't know, like no one lied about what happened. You know, like as I watched the documentary, it didn't look like anyone like covered anything up or lied about anything. It's just that, you know, you can't have a documentary that ends with a giant question mark and starts with an exclamation point. Meaning that you can't say the truth about Mariah and not give the truth. Like, what's the truth? Who's like Caitlyn did it, yeah, but why are these people making an example out of it? And the truth is in the interpretation of the story. And in order for you to understand all of this, you have to watch something called companion footage. Companion footage would take away from the core footage, which essentially is the element. So the woman that created it, Marina Zenovich, unless she finds another travesty or expands into the more lucrative and disgusting nature of entertainment, which is The Truth About Mariah Part 2, or Mariah the Show, or Mariah that Writes, to an entire thing. It looked like her parents set up a 501c3, which is a foundation. A foundation needs humans that run it. Humans that run it are experts in running foundations, not caring for Mariah. Mariah's dead. You get it?
Yeah, I do get it.
So, in order for you to understand this, you must understand that there's nothing wrong with the documentary. No one is at fault. But when you need to be able to be explained that a woman who is single in her 20s and is known as one of the best at anything, it doesn't matter if it's like mopping the side of a wall. If mopping the side of a wall was as competitive as riding a bicycle, and you've got the world's best sidewall mopper, you shouldn't let her travel with these really expensive mops. And the parallels is that when you really think about the human element of the physical action versus the end result of taking two things. One is a very taboo subject known as masturbation, and the second one is cycling. And mathematically speaking, the human beings who don't understand that one is fully socially acceptable and the other one is beyond taboo and very confusing, but, you know, I'm sorry. Just because you judge me for riding a bicycle doesn't mean it's not healthy. Because riding a bicycle is a very, very healthy activity for adults in controlled environments. But there are humans that want to ride a bicycle all day long.
Yeah.
And think that riding a bicycle will actually get them to a level of romance. Or, do you see where I'm going with this? Where mathematically speaking, human beings who don't understand that riding a bicycle and masturbation are almost identical. It's the same as people who argue about black people being different than white people. You're right. Black people come from different places of the world than white people genetically. So genetically speaking, the way they react to certain enzymes like pork or other certain products might be slightly different based on their skin colors. But past that, 99% is everything's the same. When you think about the endorphins that are released through bike riding versus the endorphins that are released through, you know, spanking the monkey, I'm not really sure if you can actually quantify the physical differences between them. Because they're both designed to release endorphins.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't think people really understand that I'm not like talking about masturbation in public. What I'm talking about is that on an individual level, what? That's why you laugh like this.
I was not thinking that until you said it.
Well, I mean, you know, like I said, it's a subconscious thought that you're supposed to be thinking about. That's. Anywho, ladies and gentlemen, please understand that right here, I recognize that here, I'll explain. Ms. Wrestling, hold this for me for a second. Thanks. Best assistant ever, okay? This is what one of 14 boards looks like, okay? I'm not Story Lord. I'm not Mr. Storyboard. This is designed for us to make lucrative decisions, not in the essence of making money, but saving time. If you're being paid in time, why wouldn't you want to save time? Right? Yeah. If you're being paid in money, you should save money. Wouldn't you want to have more of it?
Yeah. One would think.
One would think, right? This is cash owed to Daniel/Jamie. This is IP assets, digital real estate, claims, business. Okay? These elements are all structured in spreadsheets that are uploaded through the courts in order to balance the equity of an imbalance of my business partner. It is not complicated. It is not illegal. It is not immoral. There's nothing wrong with it. But what is wrong is Jamie and I being punished for our ability to be successful in an element that almost everyone who has attempted it has failed at, which is publicly disclosing our issues. I, Daniel M. Risas, am genuinely the first human being who I've ever seen in my entire life be punished for helping the world. Think about it for a second and look in the mirror and ask yourself, how much longer will I sustain the truth being hidden?